after Good afternoon, guys. I have discussion A for you this afternoon. We are discussing long-term care expenses when it comes to nursing home care. So please join me for discussion A today. Give me a couple seconds to set up for the show, and I'll be right with you, please. Move back here. Yeah. You can see me. Okay, let me grab my notes and we'll get going. Here is a clear grounded explanation of the headline based on the page you're viewing. What 10,000 a month is becoming the norm really means. The article is highlighting a major shift. Long-term care, especially nursing homes, is now so expensive in many parts of the US that 10,000 per month is no longer an outer but an average benchmark. Why costs are hitting 10,000 a month? The surrounding page shows several key points. National averages for 2026 put a shared nursing home room at about $9,810 per month, and a private room at $11,250 a month. Location drives huge variations. Alaska, over $32,000 a month. Texas, $5,800 to $7,500 a month. These numbers come from the American Council on Aging cost estimates. So the 10,000 a month figure isn't sensationalism. It's the midpoint of a wide and rising cost range. Why families feel the strain. The article emphasizes that Medicare barely covers long-term care and only in very limited short-term situations. That means families often pay out of pocket far earlier than they expect. Many delay nursing home placement not just for emotional reasons, but because the financial hit is enormous. When care needs escalate, suddenly families may be caught without a plan. The financial implications. The page makes it clear that these costs can quickly drain savings. A year of care can easily exceed $120,000 to $140,000. In high cost states, it can approach $400,000 a year. Without early planning, families may face sticker shock and scramble to figure out how to pay. What the article suggests families do. Planning ahead. Understand what Medicare does not cover. Explore long-term care insurance early. Learn Medicaid rules and look back periods. Start financial planning before a crisis hits. The core message. Rising costs mean families must prepare earlier and more realistically. Okay, guys, now today's show is in 3 parts. So, second part, nursing home costs, safety, concerns, put families under strain. So that's the title of the second half of today's show. Okay, so here we go. What the headline is really saying. Nursing home costs, safety concerns, put families under strain. Captures a double pressure crisis. Care is becoming unaffordable, with prices now averaging around $10,000 per month. Quality and safety problems are widespread, making it harder for families to trust the care they're paying so much for. The surrounding page lays out how these two forces collide and why families feel overwhelmed. The financial strain. The article notes that by 2026, the U.S. nursing home cost average $9,810 per month for a shared room. $11,250 a month for a private room, with extremes like Alaska at $32,000 a month. Medicare covers only a short-term stay, so long-term care becomes a patchwork of personal savings, long-term care insurance if purchased early, Medicaid, which requires strict financial eligibility, and advance planning. Families often face sudden, steep expenses while still juggling mortgages, children or child care, and everyday bills. The safety and quality concerns. The page highlights that cost isn't the only worry. In California alone, a new database shows over 80,000 violations in skilled nursing facilities from 2022 to 2025, including neglect, preventable injuries, infection control failures, medication errors, building code violations. Only 22 out of nearly 1,200 facilities had no violations. Staffing shortages are a major driver. Fewer workers mean more mistakes, slower response times, and higher risks. Why families feel caught in the middle. The article emphasizes that families are trying to balance high costs, uncertain safety, limited alternatives. Emotional guilt and worry. The AARP data cited on the page shows 53 million Americans provide unpaid care, spending 7,200 a year out of pocket. Many delay nursing home placement even when it is needed, simply because the financial and emotional stakes are so high. What experts recommend. The surrounding content offers practical guidance. Start financial planning early before a crisis hits. Visit facilities in person to observe staff resident interactions. Review inspection reports for repeated violations. Understand Medicaid rules and look back periods. Consider long-term care insurance while still healthy. Look beyond appearances. A pretty lobby doesn't guarantee safe care. The big picture. The headline reflects a system under pressure. Costs are rising faster than families can keep up. Safety issues are widespread and well documented. Policymakers are struggling to address both affordability and quality. Families are left to navigate complex, high stakes decisions with limited support. Okay, the real cost picture. According to the American Council on Aging, the page reports a shared room in 2026 average about $9,810 per month. Private room in 2026 average $11,250 a month. High cost states: Alaska over $32,000 a month. Lower cost states: Texas $5,800 to $7,500 a month. Even the low end is still thousands per month, and the high end is staggering. These numbers are based on annual cost estimates covered to monthly rates, converted to monthly rates. Families often underestimate how quickly these expenses accumulate, why families end up paying out of pocket. The page emphasizes that Medicare does not cover long-term custodial care, which is what most nursing home residents need. Medicare only covers short-term rehabilitation under specific conditions. That means families often start paying much earlier than expected. Savings drain quickly. Medicaid becomes the fallback, but only after meeting strict financial requirements. This is where the sticker shock comes in. People assume Medicare will help and then discover it won't. Why this matters for families. The article stresses that rising costs are reshaping family decisions. Some delay nursing home placement because they simply can't afford it. Others try to provide care at home longer, even when it's unsustainable. Adult children may need to contribute financially. Families without early planning face sudden overwhelming bills. The page notes that planning ahead financially and logistically is one of the few ways to soften the blow. The big takeaway: long-term care is becoming both more necessary and more financially punishing. With $10,000 a month becoming the norm, families who don't plan early may find themselves scrambling to cover costs that can easily exceed six figures per year. Okay, guys, that's your A for this afternoon. I will be on with B shortly. Give me a bit for a break, please, and I'll be back on with that for you for B in a few minutes. For now, Gator Wellness. Take care, folks.